Hi again, everybody. This video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous, and here's her story. Hi, Ollie. I'll just be anonymous. This is less about getting advice and more of a question for you and for your viewers to comment on. Real quick background info on me. I was sexually, physically, and verbally abused as a kid. Totally scary, unpredictable, lonely home, tons of CTPSD ensued. All three primary people in my life, mother, father, and sister, all narcs. I'm 42. My father disappeared 20 years ago, and I have gone no contact with my mother a year or so ago. And I have gone no contact recently with my sister. I've sadly discovered she's a bigger narc than my parents. I really wanted her to be a friend in all of this, so it took me a while to wake up to her bullshit. So I'm an orphan and totally isolated from all members of my family, including aunts, cousins, etc. It's very sobering. And I'm in the same situation. And the same thing with Precious, my brother. I want him to be a friend during the whole situation, and you end up getting the knife in the back. Here's the thing. The longer I go no contact, the better I feel. I also had put weight on. For me, it has served as a defense mechanism and I think just basic protection. It's how I learned to feel safe in the world and to be left alone by guys after making some bad decisions with boyfriends. I'm working through all of that and it's getting much better. The longer time goes on, I feel better. The weight comes off. I feel stronger mentally and emotionally. I should mention my looks have always been a point of contention among the narc women in my life, so it was in their best interest to keep me feeling ugly, a loser, less than, etc. My mother and sister always had contempt toward me regarding my looks, and then they felt better, more relaxed when I put weight on. It was a mind fuck I wasn't totally conscious of, but I ended up feeling very apologetic about my looks my whole life for apparently make them feel so badly about themselves. I was always made to feel ashamed if I felt pretty. I started gaining the weight in my 30s and it helped downplay my looks a bit, which made them more comfortable and at ease around me. I look at you and your transformation from your videos a couple years ago and I wonder this. If you didn't have a channel in a public forum where your family could see how healthy you look, hear your strength, growth, etc., would you feel compelled to break no contact and go to a family event looking good, feeling strong, totally impervious to their tactics? You're strong, you see right through them. It's hard to imagine you'd fall back into old roles. You'd be this pillar of strength and wisdom and just laugh at them while diffusing their power, right? Or is it that impulse? Or is that impulse not there for you because you know your abusers can see your growth and happiness on your channel? I ask because I really feel empowered the more I learn about NPD. I feel armed with information. I don't feel alone or something is wrong with me anymore. And I believe at some point I could be Teflon to their bullshit and I would enjoy watching them deflate. Seeing that they don't get any supply from me anymore. My motivation wouldn't be because they are these upstanding individuals that I want to be around. But there are some kids, nieces, and nephews I'd like to know. Admittedly, for my ego, I'd also feel good about showing up with the weight off, my life together, a hot boyfriend, not totally affected by their abuse, past and current abuse, and see what that does to the dynamics. My family knows I think they're all narcs, but that's it. I just disappeared. I don't have a channel like yours, and I haven't been public about their abuse. Have you had that impulse to go back, but then figured you didn't? You didn't have to because they can see you thriving on your channel. Are there moments you would want to re-enter some family event knowing they can't affect you anymore? In the typical scapegoat role, I took on so much of their hatred, shame, rage, and anger they had about themselves and projected onto me because they could see I was vulnerable. They took advantage of my loving, empathetic side and saw that the shittier they made me feel, the harder I tried. All my life, I've been trying so hard to get this group of people to love me, respect me, include me, approve of me, value me, etc., to no avail. I worked so hard for this group of people to care about me, and they used me and my desire for their acceptance as a game. I always felt like an outsider, and all I wanted was to belong. But after the last few years of no contact with my mom and sister, while marinating in information about NPD and really getting honest with myself about the past and really looking at this group of people, I realize I'm lucky I never belonged. This is not a club I'd ever want to belong to, a club of sad, base people, a club of abusers, users, and losers. Why was I trying so hard to belong to that group? They're embarrassing. I would never want to identify with them. I realized I'm lucky that I'm different. I think scapegoats of narc families would do themselves a favor by sitting back and asking themselves if their family is really a group of people they want to identify with. I think some of us should feel proud that we are different. Being an outsider is sometimes a good thing. Anyway, I don't think I'm totally there yet, but I can see it down the road. Me being able to walk into a room and be totally impervious to their attempts to gaslight and abuse me. Sometimes it's about a shift in attitude about yourself. I am gracing them with my presence. They are going to respect me now, or I leave. I am not afraid to call them out on their bullshit right as it's happening and expose them, because now I have the language and understanding of their dysfunction. As scapegoats, we took on so much abuse, and it continues into our adulthood until we go no contact. But after waking up and taking the years required to heal, I wonder if a scapegoat has the power to turn the dynamics upside down and no longer absorb their games as abuse and watch it ricochet back onto our longtime abusers. Going no contact can give narcs more power. With us gone, they can easily spin a narrative that we are the outsider, the common denominator, the bad guy, the abandoner, the person with the problem. But if some of us have incentives, like kids or family members we like, and if some of us feel strong enough, maybe we can go back into a family scene and change the rules. No, you can't. You can't. Ever. No. You can't go back. And I'm going to explain why once I'm done reading this. And act as mirrors reflecting back at the narcs, their dysfunction and abuse, and hopefully watch them embarrass themselves as they fall apart. That's what no contact does. See, all right. Look. As far as my weight loss and how I look now and how I did look, I've been doing that for since I was 25. Up and down with the weight, up and down with the weight. Never kept it off like this again. Never kept it off like this. So they knew me thin, they've known me heavy. It bothers them that I'm thinner. I'm sure they would love to see me get fat, but they just want to see bad things happen to you in general. You showing up thin again, looking hot, good-looking boyfriend, you're only giving them the ammo to attack you with in the first place. Remember why you went no contact in the first place, because they were attacking your looks, because they were insecure. Why would you coming back looking good again change that dynamic? It won't. They're going to use whatever tactic worked on them in the past. And it's going to be worse because now they've had time to come up with gang tactics, to gang stalk you. It's tempting. And the need for revenge, believe me, I understand it. But I've said this before. This is your revenge. This is your revenge. Look, the fact that they are going out of their way once you are no contact and completely out of their lives, still going out of their way to badmouth you and besmirch you and talk shit, just says you're living rent-free in their head. And I've made the point in other videos about what you said about your family. And I've said it like this. If these people, you weren't related to them and you weren't your family, would you choose to hang out with them? No. No. You can't change these people. There is no changing these people. They need you in their presence in order to abuse you. They're always going to be looking to abuse you. You coming back looking good is only going to enrage them more, and they're going to try the same shit. Of course, for our own pride, show them that they do not have any power over us because we are thriving, we look good, we are happy. Narcs like to believe that when we are silent, we are miserable, struggling, depressed, sad people, still suffering in the shadows. They don't want to think of us as thriving without them. It disarms the narcs when they are disillusioned upon seeing our growth. We are not under their spell anymore. I imagine that can be quite satisfying, maybe good for the soul. Narcs don't believe we're miserable when we're without them. Remember, they want to keep you in their presence because they think remember, the narcissist is always about projection. What you are saying that the narc believes about you is what the narc believes about themselves. They already think we're partying without them. That's why they're bad-mouthing us. Because they know they're toxic. They know they're cancer. And they think the second you cut them off, we're off partying. Yeah, that's what they believe. They don't believe you're suffering. They're believing because you're away from them, you're partying it up. That's what's going on in the narcissist's head. Going back is only playing into their game. You gotta understand the game. The game is you don't play it. Let them play it and they'll tear themselves up. Let them gaslight. What you do is you laugh at the lies now because they don't matter. They don't matter. Your nieces and nephews, I'm sorry to say, are a lost cause. They got their own parents who aren't there for you. You are not going to change these people. You will only set yourself up for a harder crash. Believe me. Now that you're stronger and wiser and you see your family for who they are, do you sometimes wish you can go back into that family scene, no longer playing the role of scapegoat and almost turning the game back onto them? Just watch the old family roles fall apart. Do you think going public has made that impossible? No. What makes it impossible is I don't want to be in the same room with any of them. With any of them. And, to be very honest, okay, at this point, after all that's happened and all that Meet Normus has done with the alienation, with the house, with all of it, I don't trust myself to be in the room with them. Because I know what they're going to do. It's going to go back to the same tactics. And at this point, it's either you got to walk out and let them think they won. Or like I said, I don't know if I trust myself around the guy or my brother. And I don't want that. I moved here to stay out of the back of a police car. I'm not going there, not for them. They're not worth it. What you got to understand also here is that they're just not worth it. Because you can't physically see them suffer. They are suffering. It doesn't mean they're not suffering. Once you're no contact, every lie they tell about you, every gaslight, every flying monkey they try to recruit is you winning. They want you to come back and fight with them so they can tell you you're crazy and you're fat and you're whatever they want to do. Some of us have zero incentive to go back. I understand that. But for me, there are some kids I'd like to know and be a good influence on. They are sad that my sister drove me away. There are events in these kids' lives I'm missing. Everyone's situation is different, and how we responded to our abuse is different. But I wonder if some scapegoats, after much healing and education, can step out of the abused role in these family dynamics and turn it upside down. Because after all, these people are just small, sad people that once saw you as an easy target and convinced you that they had power. They had, but at some point, hopefully, we grow and learn, empower ourselves, and can make the narcs our own targets. That is, of course, if there's an incentive to include yourself in future family events. Is the point of going no contact to become like the narcissist? To seek out revenge? To make anybody a target? I understand 42 years of abuse. I understand it. I understand the need for revenge, the need to see them suffer, the need to see them pay emotionally. It's not going to happen. And all you're going to do is make yourself feel, even if it did work, how are you going to feel afterwards? Wow, I brought myself down to their level. Kind of makes the whole point of no contact kind of moot. You understand? I mean, I hope you understand where I'm coming from on this. I'm not picking on you because I sure as fuck understand the need to want to retaliate against these people because they are so toxic and they have done so much fucking damage. I get it. And here's my concern for you. Okay, because you say you're getting better, and I know you are. Okay. And I know I'm not better yet because I still have this feeling of need for revenge. I think about it. I think about it every fucking day. I think about going up there during some event, some holiday, Christmas. Walking in during dinner and ripping my fucking father right out of that goddamn chair, throwing him across the dining room table and grounding and pounding that cum catcher he's got above his upper lip. Then I'm him. Then I give them what they want. What do you think? Do you think if you turn it on them, they're not just going to be like, look how mean you are, look how abusive, this is what you've done to me my whole life, this is how you've always been. This is what they'll say to you, this is how you've always been. And then once they say that, okay, because as much of a game plan as you think you can have going in there, once they say one lie to you, you're going to go right back and revert to arguing the same shit you were arguing before you went no contact to begin with. It's not as easy as you think. It's not. We're too emotionally wrapped up with these people. They got too much of an emotional hold on us. There's too much hurt. There's too much pain. There's too much residual feelings left over for us. That's why we have to go no contact to keep these people out of our lives. You're feeling better. You're feeling cocky. I want some revenge. You're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. It's only going to end up hurting you worse in the end. This is really a question I have for everyone, Ollie, and anyone wanting to comment, because I'm interested. With everything you have learned, all the healing you have done, do you think you could go back into the family scene for an event to see people you actually miss, but not be affected by the narcs? Do you think it's possible? Thanks so much. So I'm going to go back to, again, one of my oldest themes. Anybody who fucking knowingly hangs out with the narcissist, knowing how you feel and what they've done, shouldn't have no place in your life. I promise you, whatever feelings you think you have for these people aren't real. They're not. They're not worth having in your life. if they're not going to stand up for you. And if you don't want to believe, if you don't want to believe me, you can ask Gemma, who I've made several videos for, who's the same thing. Tried to deal with the family situations, thinking she had some. No, eventually it all comes apart. They all show their true colors, all of them. And the bottom line is this with the nieces and nephews. It's too late. It's too late at this point. Look at who's raising them. Look at what they're around. Look at the family environment. You can't save them, Laura. They're children under their parents' control. You can't save anybody who doesn't come to you and wants to be saved, wants to be helped. You can't. You can't. I didn't go to one person on my channel. Not one of my 10,000 subscribers that I have to go to and say, hey, this is about. No. No. You all sought out narcissism and found my blog and other blogs. You all sought it out on your own. Why do you think that's why it works for you? That's why these channels work for you. It's why you're not a narcissist. That's not what they do. And you can't fix anybody who doesn't want to be helped. And they will turn on you eventually. So no, I don't say it's completely impossible, but it is not worth the risks. It is really, really, really not worth the risks. They don't change. You are confusing them, gaslighting you in your no contact with them gaslighting you while you were there. They gaslighted you and abused you while you were there to keep you under control. They don't think you're miserable. They think you're partying because they know how toxic they are. And they think the second we go no contact, it's party, party, party. That's the truth. So, thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your story. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover or a narcissist you'd like to expose, you know what to do with the PayPal and my email link in the description box. And remember, when you do email me your story, please be sure to put at the top of the email whether it's with or without contribution and what name you'd like to go by. This is Ollie Matthews. Thanks for watching. See you all again soon.